Good morning, everybody. I appreciate you taking your time to, out of your day to listen in on what news we have on the latest ortho photography program from the state of Indiana. Just a few housekeeping items. My name is Sean Scholler, and I'll be the GIS program director for the Indiana Office of Technology at the GIO's office, and then just a few housekeeping items. Everybody's started on mute at the beginning of this, and as we get to the Q&A sessions, then if you want to take yourself off, or if you just want to enter your questions in the chat box, that'll be an option as well. So we will have a Q&A session at the end. And also, I'd like to encourage you to put your name into the chat window so we can capture your name and maybe not just some other information there that's presented through the Zoom interface. And lastly, this presentation is being recorded, so it'll be available for later. So for preservation. Anyway, again, just wanted to say thanks for attending, and it's looking through the list and recognize many of the names, and excited that we're here with a new statewide program. So starting off then, whoops, I already bounced ahead. I need to allow Sean and Brad to introduce themselves, and Megan as well. So Sean, would you like to go first?
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Welcome everybody. My name is Sean Benham. I'm the Vice President of Programs here with the Sanborn Map Company. I will be the Program Manager here for the Indiana Orthoimagery program. Today I'll be walking you through really just the overview of the base program, and then a discussion of some of the Buyup options that are available through Sanborn in the state through the program. So looking forward to meeting you all virtually, and hopefully in person again here soon one day. So thanks, Sean. I know Brad was just joining. Brad, are you on? I think he's just joining up here, Sean.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was muted.
There he is. Hi, Brad.
Good morning. So good morning, everyone. My name is Brad Arshat. I'm with Sanborn, responsible for business development activities in the Great Lakes and Midwest region. So my responsibility to this point has been proposal development and working with the county on contractual issues and so forth. I'll be continuing to support Sean in the role of managing the Buyups and working with the state on that as well, providing quotations and proposals and working on getting these Buyups under contract as they come up.
Thanks, Brad. And least but not least, you know what I'm trying to get to. Megan, do you have a chance to introduce yourself?
Sure, yes. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks everybody for joining us this morning. My name is Megan Compton. I'm the Indiana Geographic Information Officer, and I'm really excited about this new project kicking off and continuing on this great effort that we have in Indiana of doing a statewide aerial imagery program. So pass it back to Sean to handle the rest of the matters. We like Sean said, we do have the chat feature. So if you have some questions, I'll be managing some of those questions in the chat if you want to put them in there, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end too. So thanks a lot, Sean.
Thank you, everybody. All right. So moving ahead then. Everybody knows by now why you're here, but just to kind of go through a little bit of the history, Indiana has been doing statewide projects for a while now, 2005, 2011, 2016, and now we're here at 2021. And the really unique thing about 2021 is that we now have pricing that we can afford with a 6-inch base product statewide. So this is really going to be a neat opportunity to allow communities to see a lot higher resolution. So And I wanted to put in this slide just to go through a little bit of, give you an understanding of how we got to where we did. And that is through a work group that was intensively involved in, as you recall, a ortho imagery kind of needs assessment. We did a survey that went out among many of you filled out and gave us an idea of what the needs are for ortho imagery and just imagery across the board, really, for Indiana. And yeah, the big thing that came back was resolution. So that's what here we are with the 6-inch product. This was they were involved with the development of the RFP, and also all the way down to the end, making the recommendation along with the Department of Administration, making the recommendation for Sanborn. So giving you a little bit of the background on the management. So the management is going to go, we'd like to have all inquiries go to me, and then we'll have, I'll be working with Sanborn and keeping that workflow in place for the life cycle of the project. And that way our office, GIO's office can stay involved and stay in contact with you. And I'm actually looking forward to hearing what your needs are around the state. So so looking forward to this, working through this process. And here is in bright, colorful letters is the free 6-inch ortho photography. So that will be coming to every community around the state, like we've done in the past. We've allowed for data distribution of this information, but really the benefits for this is, I want to just cover is the contract management, the statewide coordination, and just sharing resources. And that's something I've valued, in my years within Indiana. GIS community. It's just really the opportunity to share resources, coordinating QA, QC, and I again point out emphasis on NDOT's activity. They've been involved in going back as far as I can remember in all the projects, being that quality control and giving input into things that show up on the photography and help getting those corrected before they go out to the final press. So, and again, data distribution. Well, it's going to be a little different this time. We're going to try and work with download and forego the data drives. But and then we'll also have web services as a new option as well. So. And I know I've already mentioned the resolution. So the other things on this item are going to be the 4-band, which is the standard product now that we've been offering on these cycles, is the red, green, blue, and near infrared. The geotiffs are those tiled individual images are important for folks to get that high resolution imagery. So that's going to be standard, and then additional products that we're including are going to be that nice, easy to use compressed county mosaic, and also the some compressed tiles in Mr. Sid or ECW. So, and most important is to talk about the funding, where the funding came from for this, and that's from the Indiana Office of Technology, the IoT's office, and also Indiana Department of Transportation, so INDOT, and then we're also looking for additional partners as we continue this process through the next upcoming years. So, and wanting to draw out special emphasis now, the Buyups have actually gotten a little simplified this time around because we're already at the 6-inch resolution, so the Buyup option is to 3-inch, and this will be we'll also have off-year purchasing, and then Sanborn has a suite of their standard products, ancillary products that they specialize in, such as oblique aerial photography, LiDAR, planometric, and contours. So. And again, you've got my contact information there for more information. So also distribution, talked about this already a little bit, but you know, we're going to be distributing this directly to the counties once we're in the final delivery mode. And another really nice thing that I like and proud of this is that we make this information available to the public and you know, and corporations and everybody alike. So it'll be in the public domain, available for viewing and for download. And with that said, that's enough of my voice. I'm going to hand it over to the other Sean, who I am proud to. So anyway, Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. So again, I'm Sean Benham with Sanborn. What I'm going to do here today is just try and quickly step through, again, some more details and specifics about what we plan to be doing here over the coming months for the program, as well as just describing in a bit more detail those Buyup offerings that Sean had mentioned, and some of the considerations moving into this first year's program. I guess I'll start by saying, you know, Sanborn is certainly excited and honored to be chosen as the vendor here for the program. We know there's a lot of quality competition out there, and we are, again, honored to be a part of the team here and looking forward to working with everyone. So just very quickly, as an overview, Sanborn as a company, Sean, if you go back just one slide there. There you go, thank you. Sanborn was actually founded in 1866. Some of you may be aware of our Sanborn maps that are still out there in circulation. Since then, obviously, we've become a full-service dedicated geospatial provider. We're headquartered out of Colorado Springs, although we do have offices nationwide and local offices such as mine here in the DC area and Brad up in Minneapolis. So but the majority of our production is done out of our Colorado Springs office. Next slide, Sean. Again, just a very quick highlight of the chronology of our service offerings here. Went back from ground surveys. I've been doing aerial photography since 1966, and then digital photography since 1988. So as you see on the right side there, statewide mapping programs is Sanborn's really our bread and butter. It is our primary focus as our data production side. You'll see a list of the states there, both recent and current states that we are doing mapping programs for. So again, you know, we are set up and designed for large scale mapping programs such as the state of Indiana. Next slide. And again, just a very quick overview of Sanborn's overall offerings. As I said, we are a comprehensive geospatial solution provider. We'll talk about some of the derivative products downstream. The majority of what we're going to talk about today is sort of at the base of that pyramid, right? The data and map production, but we do offer support all the way up the data chain through visualization and decision support. Next slide, Sean. So again, let's talk about the Indiana program in some more specifics here. So for our 2021 program, as Sean pointed out at the start, this will be the central portion of Indiana. The total project area is a little under 12,000 square miles at 6-inch resolution. Sean pointed out 4-band RGB and near IR bands at 8 bits per channel with a 2-pixel accuracy. So again, we have tiled and county-wide deliveries. This will all be captured in the spring with snow-free, leaf-off, and flood-free conditions. So, and within a 30-degree sun angle. So as you might expect, that window tends to be pretty tight, right? Between snow and leaf-on, given a given year, it can be a very tight and a very challenging window to capture this data in. So we'll talk a little bit more about resources and how we plan to accomplish that here in a second. And again, initial delivery to the state will be at the end of September with distribution out by mid-November. And Sean, thanks. So again, just some more detail here on our acquisition plan. This is certainly the critical phase of the program, as we're all aware. We can't do much data production and distribution unless we have the imagery captured in the spring. So to that end, we've already designed our flight plan here. This is a 6-inch flight plan, as Sean mentioned, a little different than what you may have seen in the past. So there are quite a bit more photos and lines within that approach. The flights will be captured at an altitude just under 10,000 feet AGL. And we capture at 80% forward lap and 30% side lap. So some of you may be familiar sort of with industry standard at 60% forward lap and 30% side lap, sort of a traditional photographic approach. With our digital cameras, we tend by best practice to capture at 80%, although we only utilize 60% forward lap in the imagery. Capturing at 80% is just a risk mitigator for everyone. If we have a blur image, if we have a cloud shadow in an image, it allows us to remove that image without the need of a reflight to extend that collection window. So again, typically our acquisition time is as high of sun angle as possible, but above 30 degrees with snow-free leaf-off conditions. So this is really the core of the work that's going on right now is in flight control planning with acquisition and sun angle opening up for us in the February timeframe. All of this acquisition will be done with the UltraCam Eagle system. This is a Vexel imaging camera, 260 megapixel 4-band per channel camera. It's a frame-based system with geostabilized camera mounts or gyro-stabilized camera mounts. So again, we, as our team, we bring 7 of these cameras to the team across 56 aircraft. So we have quite a bit of redundancy within that acquisition team. Within a typical collection year of this size, in this flight window, 3 cameras will be needed for the acquisition of the central tier. So again, our strategy here is certainly to have redundancy and excess capacity available so that we can mitigate any challenges that may come with the increasingly challenging weather conditions we have in the spring. As we progress with acquisition, we will be providing a few tools to the state to monitor progress. One of them is our Sanborn Flight Analyst, which is a web-based application which is updated daily with our acquisition progress. This is, again, a URL-based login system that the state can keep track of where we are, what we're collecting, and what's left to go, as well as having the ability to monitor some of our aircraft on some of the commercially available tools that are out on the web through real-time tracking. One of the things Sanborn does offer in terms of an early look at our imagery capture is through our Sanborn online Quickview service. So essentially what we're doing is, as imagery is coming off the camera and into our office for QC, we are loading this into a web-based application, which generally georeferences the imagery. This is not an ortho-rectified, seamed, and color balanced image. This is a roughly georeferenced using the airborne GPS view of the imagery. But what it does is allow the state and US stakeholders the ability to get an early look at what's being captured and what the ground conditions are looking like. And again, these missions are loaded onto our service within 10 days of capture. So, in past years, and even going back to film days for some of us that have worked back then, we might capture an image and not see it for months, right? In this case, we're literally having the ability to look at the image as it's coming off the camera within a 2-week time frame, within a 10-day time frame from capture. So we see this as an advantage and a high value offering here early on in the program. So then from there, from our raw imagery capture, we have a number of steps to get out to our final product. This slide really just sort of summarizes. I'm not going to go through all of these details, but essentially we are at the source data review and planning stage, that first graphic there. From there, we go into data acquisition, which then leads to our aerial triangulation activities, which is essentially where the accuracy and the spatial integrity of data in terms of matching comes together. From there, we'll be taking the state's LiDAR DEM, orthorectifying our imagery, and then that's where the bulk of the work really happens, is actually in that last slide, through the editing and seam line editing process, mosaicing, color balancing, and then QC prior to final delivery. So this is just sort of the workflow as it goes through from planning to camera into production and out for delivery. And again, a very high level of schedule expectations here for the first year of the program. As I said, we are in the planning stages now for capture expectations to begin in February. And again, that's all obviously weather and ground conditions permitting. We do need snow-free conditions, and we need sun angle above 30 degrees. So we're looking at early February to really start targeting that window in collection through the month and prior to leaf on. As I mentioned, our Quickview through Image Analyst would be available online from 10 days from completion of acquisition. We'd expect to have a pilot project produced in coordination with the state. So again, an early look at the final product. That would be a final mosaic example of the final delivery. We'd be targeting early May to have that. So we set a good expectation with the state on what the final product should be. And then image production will progress from May through September to have all deliveries complete by the end of September. So up till now, that's really all been focused on the base 6-inch program, right? So as Sean mentioned, we do have offerings within the contract for Buyups, and we're going to break these into sort of two groups. The first is Buyups which are impacted by data acquisition. So you'll note that between the red text and the green text here, these are going to have especially for year one here in 2021, are going to have a sort of a deadline to have assigned, given that they are going to need to have dedicated flight plans or adjustments to the current flight plan to accomplish those Buyups. The second group here, these are derivative products that either are coming off the base product or additional flights, and really could be purchased or produced downstream at any time. So they're not as time sensitive on a critical path in terms of compared to the flight centric Buyups. So we'll go through in each of these in a little bit of detail here. So the first is fairly obvious. Sean already mentioned 3-inch resolution Buyups. Most of you are familiar sort of with that resolution Buyup option. But again, starting at a base 6-inch, really our primary Buyup option here is a 3-inch resolution. Very similar in terms of delivery products and formats. It's just you're essentially getting 4 pixels to every one, 4 3-inch pixels to every 1 6-inch that you'd be getting, which of course increases the ability to identify and extract smaller features. This is typically more design scale or design grade type activity. This does require a different flight plan. That's sort of the key message here. We would fly this at about 5,000 feet AGL instead of the 10,000, and it would require certainly a different set of flight lines and control plan to adhere to the accuracy. So if this is an interest in year one, I guess the message that will kind of continue through here is we want to make sure you're in discussion with Sean and Megan in the group very early on in the process here, so we can make sure we have resources and plans accordingly. True orthophotography. So this is typically isolated to urban cores, areas where there's some taller buildings, where lean, which is inherent in orthoimagery, might be of a concern. We have the ability to collect additional overlapping imagery, and then known in the industry, true ortho, the buildings, which essentially stands up the buildings to eliminate lean within the orthophotography. Again, this does require a separate set of photos and lines to be planned in order to accomplish this, and includes quite a bit more advanced workflow in the ortho environment. So If this is something of interest, we certainly want to have that discussion now before we get planes in the air. Oblique imagery. So this is, again, now a sort of completely separate offering from the traditional nadir orthoimagery flights. This is a completely separate sensor that would be used to collect oblique imagery. Essentially, instead of one photo per exposure, we are collecting 5. We would have a nadir view as well as 4 oblique views at 45 degrees, each in the cardinal directions. This product is available at a number of different resolution options, anywhere from 2-inch to 12-inch. But again, is an aerial triangulated product with a 2-pixel accuracy. So again, in terms of more traditional photogrammetry, this is in good alignment. This is a licensed product, so we do license the imagery, but essentially there are no per seat or usage or deployment costs or restrictions. It's yours to own. You can deploy it on any system you choose. You can distribute it how you choose. The only real limitation within that licensing is no resale of the data. With it, other than that, it is yours to own. There are typically no restrictions on the licensing or the distribution or ownership of that data. And again, this, as many of you know, with obliques, they require a viewing platform to utilize all 5 of those views and to change those views. So this Sanborn has our Sanborn Oblique Analyst, which is our software, which would display those images and has quite a bit of functionality and tools built into it for analysis of the ortho image, or the oblique imagery. So again, we won't spend a whole lot of time here. Sean, I think we have a link on the next slide. If anyone is interested in going out and seeing an example of our oblique offerings, we can, through Sean, we can certainly provide you this link or other examples, and we can discuss further if needed. So LiDAR. So this is, again, sort of the other more traditional offering here as a Buyup. Most of you now are familiar with what LiDAR is and how it's used. Sanborn offers a fully compliant USGS QL1, QL2 spec through our LiDAR systems. We have 2 Leica terrain mapper systems that are flying year-round. Again, we offer the full scale of delivery formats in terms of DEMs, DTMs, and derivative products from that LiDAR. Traditionally, contours, it's a typical derivative product, but other enhancements as well, right? Increased classification for vegetation or buildings, hydro enforcement, hydro flattening, hydro enforcement, DSMs, you name it. We offer the full service derivative products from our LiDAR offering. And again, if that's of interest to you, either in this cycle or off cycle, we're certainly happy to talk to you about that further through Sean and Megan. So that first group, again, we sort of isolated to flight impacted product, right? So if those things I just talked about are of interest for this season, time is of the essence here. If these next group really are derivative products that once the imagery is captured, especially our 6-inch base product here, these are really offerings that can be purchased or produced or delivered downstream at any time. And the most typical of these products is planometric mapping. This can be anything from buildings alone. Buildings and roads are sort of the 2 typical primary infrastructure features that are captured, but this can be as complicated or as simple as the geodatabase design that you'd like. So this is a highly kind of customized product. Many of you have some planometric data already with a geodatabase design already into your business processes and workflow. So again, this, as we note down below here, pricing and scope and feature density is really a driver here on the overall scope and pricing. So this is typically a custom quote project once we've done a bit of a needs analysis and a scope definition here. But this is, again, as we collect the 6-inch data, this is available at any time downstream for the data collected. Contours. So we mentioned, LiDAR has become sort of a standard now for development of contours, but certainly stereo imagery has been a traditional approach to generating contours. And we certainly have that ability here with the aerial triangulated stereo imagery as it will be captured with the program. So again, we typically are delivering this in geodatabase formats, but also have the ability to, and have many clients who have CAD requirements for the delivery as well. So again, if this is of interest, we can have some more detailed discussion on geodatabase designs and needs, and approaches to contour development.
There we go. All right.
Okay. Right. So I think that's all for me here. So Sean, I'll hand it back to you. I know you're going to go through some of the pricing and just contact questions, and then I guess we'll open it up to the group. So, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. So yes, to get in now to you heard the introduction slides. So let's get to the pricing, which you're all interested in knowing about. So I'm not going to read off all the numbers. I'm going to let you look at the slide. This will be available for later as well. But just basically describing, you have the area column, you have the price per mile column, and the state contribution. And the state contribution is basically that the cost that the state has for the base product of a 6-inch product. So that value is $51. And so you subtract that from the initial price per mile, and you come up with the actual buy up for a 3-inch resolution product. There's also an option from the contract that's out of cycle 6-inch. So if a community is looking to just buy an additional year of 6-inch ortho photography, that can be leveraged through this purchasing arrangement with Sanborn. And then we also have the true ortho photography resolution prices as well. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce now to just a sample calculation where what we've done is take a county assuming 500 square miles at a 3-inch resolution. So that's what you end up doing is going to that row for the 400 to basically 1,999 square miles is $250. And then the state covered cost is $51. So you subtract the 51 from 250 and multiply that times 500, and because that's your area of interest, and that comes out to 99,000. So I would encourage folks to, if you want to do that on your own, or give me a ring, and we can talk through those details. Here's a few other options then that were included in the project. So I'm just going to let you look at them, but basically it's for the LiDAR QL2 and QL1. And just remember that the state, most, if you're not aware, everybody in the state was flown in the last 4-year cycle QL2 LiDAR. So this is additional updates that are available. And here's some pricing then for contour Buyups. And some oblique aerial photography. Cannot get enough imagery, so that oblique stuff is pretty nice. Yeah,
and Sean, just a note that is, although we have pricing here for 6-inch resolution, oblique, as it's noted here, certainly there are other options in terms of, from all the way down to 2-inch to 12-inch. And if there's interest in quoting for any of those resolutions, we're happy to work with you.
Yes, thanks, Sean. I need to mention that if you don't feel that you're fitting in one of these rows and columns, then yep, let us know, because we can work with you and come up with custom quotes. And let's see. So here's a few options. Then there's the planometric, land cover, change detection, LiDAR. Again, going through the list. So, and again, just wrapping up. So here's my contact information. There's my cell number. Voice or text is great, and then working to define the area of interest in the scope of work. Shape files are great. That's a universal Esri file format. Contracts and Buyups for ancillary products. Then we've got a date in there of 12/15 that we would really like to get things firmed up. I know that's not much time, and I'll have to apologize for that. I know when I was in local government, I always we need as much time as we can get. But anyway, this is where we are, and great to be offering these products. So, and here again is the project team. So again, thanks, Sean. Looking forward to working with you and Brad and Megan, my boss. So, all right. And then lastly, I'd like to just put a little announcement out there for anybody that's interested in keeping apprised of this project. IGIC, Indiana Geographic Information Council, has a ortho photography committee that meets every fourth Tuesday of the month. So so the next one coming up that's scheduled is going to be February 23rd at 11 in the morning. So just jump on and see what's going on, get into some of the nitty gritty of the project. So anyway, thanks, thank you everybody. We have time now for question and answers.
Hey, Sean, we have a couple of questions in the chat that I want to toss over to you. The first one is, will the individual tiles be based on the same tile grid as the previous ortho projects?
Yeah, so the grid is going to have to change a little bit because the resolution has changed. And so basically we're going to be taking that 1 foot grid that you're accustomed to seeing and cutting that into 4 pieces. So there will be quite a few more tiles and data storage along with that. So if you're also wondering, what the data storage impact and footprint on hard drives, just multiply your current data set times 4, and that'll be a good estimate.
Thank you. That's a good note on this, on the data storage. We tend to forget about that sometimes. Okay, next question. As a utility, could we provide our transmission lines and get LiDAR for just those specific areas at a high resolution?
I believe, Sean, that would go under the custom quoting. You'd be happy to do that.
It would. I'll let Brad speak in a little bit more detail, but that is certainly something Sanborn is currently doing and is an offering we can provide. So we'd be happy to get the details on that and explore that further. Brad, anything to note there?
No, you covered it exactly, Sean. I mean, that is something that we routinely do for electric utility clients, and yeah, it's a custom quote, and be happy to work with you on that.
Okay. Laura's asking, besides 3-inch, what Biops are due by February 15th?
Right. So Sean, would you be able to just go back to slide, pull the number for you here. Sorry. I think if we go to slide 20, Sean, that's probably the best place to go. Buyup overview. Yeah, there you go. So, so if you look at this top set of bullets here, these are really the primary Buyups that are impacted by a flight deadline, right? So higher resolution, certainly that's probably the primary one, 6" to 3". True ortho, LiDAR, or obliques. And again, the LiDAR and oblique are actually separate flights in their entirety due to different sensor systems from the ortho photography. So again, for our purposes, for most of the purposes here, resolution Buyups are the primary driver, but certainly LiDAR is typically a leaf-off collect as well, and obliques, just again to try and get the best look at infrastructure on the ground. So that 4 bullets there are really the primary drivers for timing considerations on collection and acquisition.
Yeah. Sean, one thing that I just want to add to that is that, we understand that for public agencies, it takes time to get purchase orders and contracts and, the administrative side of things into place. So we do not have the expectation that we have a signed purchase order or contract with a Buyup, with a Buyup client by 15 February. So as long as you have dedicated funding for the project, all we're asking is that you essentially make the decision by 15 February to commit to moving forward, if that's what you want to do. And then we understand and respect that getting the paperwork into place and everything sometimes takes more time. So, we're sensitive to that and prepared to work with Buyup clients in that regard.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and as I've discussed with Sean Scholler here, right, this driver is really more resource related on Sanborn side, right? Making sure we have the proper aircraft and proper resources available to capture your required need. As Brad said, if we understand, we understand at the state level and at the local level, things do not always move as quickly as everyone would like. So if contractually, things are going to lag beyond that date, that's okay. And we would work through Sean and Megan to make sure we have all that squared away. So, yeah, thanks, Brad. That's a great point.
And Chris had asked about the when we plan to fly the east and the west sides of the state, and that was we'll fly the 2021 in the center tier, and we'll fly the east side of the state in 2022 and the west side in 2023. The next question is from Matt Rummel. What is the average turnaround time from flight completion to distribution of the data?
I'm sorry, say it again, Megan.
Sorry, what's the average turnaround time from flight completion to the distribution of the data? I'm guessing
Right.
It's probably referring to final distribution.
Right. So in terms of collection, again, our typical window here is fairly short, but again, is really dependent on weather more than anything. So February, March timeframe for aerial for the imagery collection, and then Sanborn is committed to having all of the initial deliveries to the state by the deadline of September 30th. Obviously, we'll be working with Sean and Megan on interim delivery expectations. That will not be a single delivery on September 30th, certainly. And if we can accelerate that delivery, we certainly will. But in general timelines, that's where the program's expected to be. Megan, Sean, I guess I'll maybe let you guys speak a little bit to the process from initial delivery to finalization on the QC side.
Yeah, so as part of our internal process, that's where NDOT will be stepping up and being engaging in the quality control part. So and then giving that information back, and yep, looking forward to working with the partners.
Okay, So the next question, and we answered this in the chat, but I want to make sure that we're being clear on it. Is the 3-inch buy-up deadline for all 3 years or only for 2021? And that's only for 2021. I want to make that very clear.
Yeah, we got plenty of time for
Yeah.
2022, 23.
We have plenty of time to plan for 2022.
That's right.
And future. Okay. Next question's from Phil. Is a feature extraction using manual photogrammetry techniques or machine learning technology?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Typically, again, every project is a little bit different in terms of scope, design, and the requirements. For the most part, for our more traditional planometrics derived from imagery, again, things like buildings and roads and sidewalks and trails, and all of the typical infrastructure we would collect. The good majority of that is still being done through manual techniques. Machine learning is certainly coming along, as we all know, and Stanborn does have some automated extraction routines and processes, and are continuing to develop upon those. Buildings is a typical more automated extraction, particularly out of LiDAR. We have some pretty advanced building extraction routines out of LiDAR. But from a photogrammetric standpoint, from an imagery standpoint, at a 6-inch resolution, 100 scale mapping, a good majority of our work is still being done through manual extraction techniques. The accuracy and the quality of that data, we feel, still warrants that technique. Brad, I don't know if you have anything to add in terms of sort of more advanced offerings on that.
I don't. You covered that well, Sean.
Yeah, again, it's the holy grail, right, for vendors like us to be able to hit a button and extract all features, and it's coming, but yes, from a photogrammetric imagery standpoint, at a typical 100 scale, we would be doing a manual extraction.
Okay. Next question is from Chris Dintman. Would the state consider investment in statewide GIS vector Buyups for custom layers such as forest canopy or paved surfaces? Sean, do you want to answer that one?
I'm going to let.
You want me to answer?
Yeah, I'll let you answer that one.
So honestly, if there's an interest and there's funding, we're absolutely open to partnering on those Buyups for a statewide product. It would just be, we wouldn't be able to put it in, but our portion of the funding doesn't have an opportunity for that. So if we could collect the money and make it available statewide, say absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Will the Sanborn Map Viewer that has the images uploaded 10 days after they were taken be available to access by those outside of state employees?
Yes, yeah, and I didn't mention also in the QC process that if you have if your county has an interest in reviewing the information, we're happy to engage, and we have in previous projects as well. So yep, yes.
Okay, thank you. I had a note to please just address the distribution of the data to the cities. Sean Scholler, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so the data distribution is going to be to the county and or to the agency municipality that bought up. So if the municipality bought up, then we'll have a direct download for you. Otherwise, we'll also have the data distribution from the state site and also that on an ongoing basis, and also the initial download from Sanborn.
Okay, and if that didn't answer the question, please feel free to follow up in the chat. The next question is, will there be an option to download the 2021 aerials for an entire county in a single mosaic data set, or will it only be available in tiles?
We will have both.
Okay. And that's all the questions in the chat.
Again, I'd like to just please put in your contact, your name there, so we can record who attended. If you want to give some additional information there, that would be great as well. So just looking to build our contact resources as much as we can.
And the last question, or I'm sorry, questions keep coming in. Thank you. Where will the slides be available? I'll post our website in the chat. They'll be available on our website, and I imagine they'll be available on the IGIC website also. Let's see. What format will be used for the compressed files? That's the next question.
Yep. Right now we're looking at most likely to just accommodate both the GIS platform and the CAD platform is the ECW and a Mr. Sid. It seems like we've done I believe ECWs in the past, and we're going to trying to be accommodating both this time around. So yeah, good question.
Okay, and I just put a link to our imagery page in the chat. So take a look there. We'll also send it out in our agency newsletter. And if you need to sign up for that, if you don't receive that now, send Sean an email. We'll get you on that distribution list. And it'll be also, like I said, be posted to IGIC's website.
Well, give a few more minutes. Anybody, any last minute takers? All right. Well, yeah, and I just want to say I'm really looking forward to working through this this project and with Sanborn's team. So and also working with you at the local level to making sure we get this information distributed and shared out in the best and the easiest way. So that's a really important part of a GIS project, is to making sure that the distribution goes well. So. All right. Well. Megan, no more questions?
You're on mute, Megan.
I know, I knew that would happen at some point. No more questions, just a lot of really great job. Sean did mention the Ortho Imagery work group, so I want to encourage that too if you really want to get in the weeds of the way this program's going to run. So yeah, that's it. Great job, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice afternoon.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Be safe out there.